if you want, but it's just, you're invited to a fun girls' night out, and it gives my address and then everything, and I usually do some kind of drawing, you know, like if you, like some ticket drawings, if you RSVP, you get a ticket, if you come on time, you get 2 tickets, if you bring a friend, you get 3, if you book a show, you get 5, things like that, and then I would usually raffle off, like, a set of jewelry that I didn't like or was retiring or something like that. Just something to entice them, and I put a little picture on it. So that worked out well. I did get my business back on its feet by doing that. And, oh, I already said that part. Okay, so you need at least 9 shows in your calendar, okay? So the way that you do that with a solid booking activity, which Megan demonstrated one last month. Cindy is going to do one again tonight. And so all you need is a good booking activity and the ability to talk on the phone. We all have a phone, right? So it's just a matter of picking that up and talking to people. Because I find that I can email someone and they'll give me one response, but when I pick up the phone to call them, they'll give me a completely different response because they actually feel like I care about them. So, yeah, I don't like making phone calls. I'm sure none of us do, but I do what I have to do. Okay, so we'll get more into that in a minute. So I was telling you that my youngest has had medical problems since she was born. So she was actually, the day she was born, she was running small the whole time, so I was high risk, and she came 3 weeks early and kind of just fell out of me. She was 4 pounds, and the doctors were yelling at me, gain more weight, gain more weight. I'm like, I can't, I'm gorging myself. What does it matter? But she was born with a condition, and that was why she was running small. But it's called hemifacial microsomia, and I'll test you on that later. But that's a condition that results in the underdevelopment of one side of her face. So it affected the size of her jaw, it affected the shape of her ear, it affected like the fat content and the muscle content and like the nerves in her face, and it also affected her hearing. So we were running to all sorts of appointments, and like with this thing it can affect the kidneys and the heart, so we're like, oh my God. So social workers are coming in, they're running all these tests on her. You know, I stayed up all night and delivered her, and it was a big mess. I didn't know what was going on, but I mean, I knew she had a bump on her ear, and I knew the nurse was concerned about it, because when she whisked her away, she was like, oh, look at her ear. And, you know, I'm a nurse, I'm like, yeah, that's not the correct comment that you made. So, you know, that first week having her home, we didn't have any answers. You know, we just knew that her kidneys were good, and, you know, she was able to eat and breathe and everything, which thank God, because a lot of kids with this condition can't. But, you know, you go through this mourning period where you have these expectations for your children, and, you know, she might never feel beautiful. Kids are going to harass her because she looks different. Jerks. But, so, you know, and you, like, research everything online and get yourself all worried. But, you know, after about a week, I'm like, you know what? There's a certain number of kids that are going to be born like this. They're going to be born with some kind of something that needs medical attention, and, you know, God chose us to have her. And we have the means. We have great hospitals. We have people that we know that are very supportive. So we had the means to take care of her, which I'm really grateful for that. So we were just sitting around waiting for answers the first 6. Not sitting around, I'm sorry. I was running to appointments 2 to 3 times a week, dragging all 3 children with me. I was exhausted by the time I got home. But, you know, she's seeing the audiologist, ear, nose, and throat, genetics, physical therapy, surgery, all this craziness. So dragging the kids back and forth and trying to keep them quiet while Katerina's doing her hearing test for 2 hours. It's just an impossible feat. So I was exhausted by the time I got home, and on my days off from taking, you know, the kids to appointments, I just felt like I was recovering from the day before. So I'm like, I want to do jewelry shows. Like, what? Why would I want to leave the house right now? I just want to sleep. You know, and little kids and breastfeeding, it takes it out of you. So, but I knew I couldn't stop working my business because that would be ridiculous. So, I kept going. It just kind of, it had to scale back a bit because I couldn't keep up with everything. But I still worked it. When Katerina was 8 months old, she actually had surgery on her mouth and her ear. And so the surgeon tells me, so she can't open her mouth wide for 3 months, okay? I'm like, what? Like, she's a baby, she cries, okay, there it is, couple stitches. So I was like, well, this is ridiculous. I basically had to be around her all the time to, you know, breastfeed her if she ever got upset and she was opening her mouth wide. I'm like, well, how am I going to go out and do jewelry shows or do anything with this business, because the kid's going to be, oh, don't mind me, you know, the show. But, you know,
that would be awesome.
You know, Mike and I worked it out. I shortened my shows a lot, I would take care of it right before I left, and then I would be really short, and I would go home, and he learned how to kind of appease her until I got home, which was just so great because, you know, it could have been really easy to be like, I can't do anything, I'm sorry, I'm just going to take a few months off. So, since I was at all these doctor's offices, getting all my stuff. Sorry, pause.
Maybe